No, direct pay, they do it by your tax ID. You don't have to register.
No. So I went on this website. Check this out.
irs.gov.notafakesite.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second
I mean,
here.
first off, started off in my island browser.
It's a DLP, Glenn. It's too strong. You can't send social
It worked.
security numbers through.
It worked.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, the information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 17 of 2024. I'm Chris Louie, and soared from the 10K that I ran yesterday. I did meet my goal of under 1 hour, though. With me, I have my co-host Duke Silver, who dislikes leg day.
So congratulations, man. 1 hour sub. I think that's always your goal, right? Sub 1 hour, 10Ks.
That is. At least I'm not getting any
PR?
worse. I don't think so. I think 2 years ago I did it in like 58 and change, and this last 2 years I've done it in like 59 and change.
You know, lay off the alcohol the night before. You'll get
I
there.
know what's going on. Yeah.
Speaking
I
of,
tried, Brian.
it was leg day today. And geez, man, my quads are freaking blown out right now. They're sore.
Yeah, you're sitting for a change instead of standing at your standing desk, I can tell.
Yes, I am.
And we have Glenn Medina, or should we call him Texas Two-Step Glenn, or TTG.
TTG.
Howdy, Glenn. How's that tan coming along?
Coming on great. It was a little sunburn. I'm not gonna lie to you. First day, we went on a 3-mile hike one way, and it was a long morning. Long morning? Yeah, it was a long morning. Didn't want to do that again after that. So,
Well, that and you were in Hawaii all last week.
yeah.
That's what he wasn't hiking for work. He was out with the missus having a good
Yeah.
time.
It was a great time. I think that's gotta be the one time I was like 99% disconnected, where if you didn't catch me in the morning before we left the hotel, I was not going to be online. So it was
Good.
What was
the way
the
your PTO
what was
should
the elevation
be.
of that mountain you climbed?
Which one?
I don't know, the tallest one.
The tallest one, I think it's like, well, at this peak, it's like 13, but the visitor center, I think, was at like 6 or 7. So it's not high, but it's above. It's good enough above the clouds that you can see some of the stars at night. So it's really nice and beautiful.
I was hoping you got to the Mile High Club, but I think I had to go back to Denver for that one, buddy.
5,290 feet, Brian.
Yep.
The mile high is not a representation of which city you're in when you do that. It's a representation of what airline you do that in, Brian.
Hey, you know, I can wish whatever I want. And it doesn't have to be the city. If it's in the back of a mountain, I think that counts.
And it's easier to do on an international flight than on a domestic Southwest flight, just FYI. Not to say that I've been there.
If you're built like me, it's impossible. It is not going to happen, even on an international. I haven't like flown like the ones where they have the beds actually, like not just the little lie flats, but the actual like, you know, king beds.
Oh,
that are in
like
there.
your own room. Yeah,
that
would be awesome to have your own. Yeah, that would. Then it's not so bad. But
That'd be
that's like a
$20,000 for a
$50,000 ticket. Yeah,
Yeah.
for 2 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just get there by myself.
No guest this week, as we had a last-minute reschedule. Combined, we have decades of information security experience in here, not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for you this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This week, we're going to talk about review bombing, Putin's PlayStation. For our third topic, a data breach that got out of hand, and close with random human talk.
Bro, how are we not talking about that gaping VPN hole? But whatever. Go over
You
our
want it,
first
Brian.
topic.
For our first topic, restaurant review and booking website OpenTable has backed down from a controversial policy to publish profile pictures and first names to restaurant reviews. The measure was set to start on May 22nd, but major backlash against the policy forced the Priceline-owned company to backtrack and reverse their decision. OpenTable says that the decision was originally made to improve transparency, similar to how Russia requires a real name to be associated with every cell phone number in the country. The problem is that the policy would apply to all past reviews and not just net new reviews, so that would be retroactive. OpenTable says diners have contributed over 136 million reviews on the platform, sharing their dining experience, either good or bad, with other members. This news did not sit well with users, since past negative reviews will now be associated with the real person that left it. A first name combined with the date of the review will make it trivial for restaurants to associate the review with a real person. At the time of the recording, OpenTable has reversed their decision, and the new policy will only apply to new reviews left after May 22nd.
Well, that just I'm gonna be the first to comment, and I think that if you're gonna leave a review and you're gonna say something bad, you should have your face posted and your real name posted, because you could leave damage to some company, right? Or some, because you didn't get your chicken on time, or you thought the wait staff was inappropriate or whatever. It was like you got to have a real face to some of these reviews, because some of them are just real chicken shit, if you ask me.
You know how many McDonald's employees talk crap on Chick-fil-A? It's time to quill the flock, baby.
I think the beef wasn't that you can't leave negative reviews anonymously. I think it was that at the time you were promised anonymity and they were about to unmask you. I think that's what people had the problem with, because moving forward they're going to have this, which is fine if you know what you're getting into. But the people that left these reviews in the past didn't know what they were getting into, or they did at the time, and they're just changing the rules on them in the future.
So it was like Chicken Two Strut, leave a name under Chicken Two Strut, and you're gonna like badmouth every little bit of something of another company, or good, right? But you feel like you've got some anonymization there, so you feel like you've got superpowers because they can't find you. But now you're gonna get exposed. You're like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble, right?
Yeah.
I can see this
commandos.
backfire on my wife. I think I've told you guys that she wants to just leave reviews on if a restaurant does a paper straw or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to get outed.
Well, it was funny because I was in SoCal and I was just taking a picture of my drink. The guy's like, what are you doing? I was like, hey, Omar, just, my wife likes to leave reviews of places solely based off if it's a paper straw. And I goes, oh, she likes paper straws. I'm like, nah, man, she hates them. He's like, but what about the sea turtles? I don't know who.
The turtles.
Yeah. I was like, what about my soggy drink? Nobody wants a wet noodle in your mouth, Come on now.
He backed down after that, Brian.
He did look a little puzzled. Good dude, but
you were in California, so he wasn't going to back down. You're lucky you didn't get 2 wet noodles in your drink.
Whatever. No, it was. So I didn't back down, but I also was just like, I think we were both a little perplexed. I'm like, how dare you want a paper straw in your mouth? And he was like, how dare you violate the turtles? But I'm just like, oh, whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah. This is very similar to what Glassdoor did. So there were a bunch of glass holes, I think a few months ago, where they said that you could, because glass holes, it's an anonymous, it's pseudo-anonymous work review site where you say, I worked at Zscaler and these were the goods, these were the bads, 3 stars, would not join again. You can leave something like that. And then Glassdoor, without any consent whatsoever, started putting people's profile pictures and real names tied to the reviews. And people couldn't figure out how this was happening. And they eventually figured out that if you open any kind of like trouble ticket or support ticket with Glassdoor, they take your info from the support ticket associated with the email that left the review and then put it there after the fact. So they got in a lot of trouble for doing that.
Let's see Blind do this. No. Now we're talking.
That would be bad if that happened.
I think the problem is people feel very powerful or emboldened to say negative things. And here I am on the negative stuff, right? It's like they're okay to say negative things until confronted that, hey, that wasn't very cool. And then they get outed, and then it's like, or get called out, and they're still okay until they get confronted personally or in person about it. Then it's like, ooh, I really did mess up. So
there's something called the Internet FWAD theory, and it became popular during Unreal Tournament days back in those days. And it pretty much says, if you take a normal person, give them a platform to speak on, give them anonymity, and then they become this giant FWAD. They just say whatever they want to, no filter, and just turn a normal person into a psychopath. So that's pretty much what OpenTable, Blind, and Glassdoor does.
I think that's what all our kids have turned into, right? Because they think they're like strutting their stuff, and Hence the word, this is where Karens come from, because they can actually think out loud and say what they want, and now they're
What do
getting
you call that?
punched in the face.
What's that called, Lynn? C
Karens?
for curious? What? Oh, Karens. Oh, I misheard.
Karens, yeah.
I think my Zoom call
Karens.
cut out or something. It's like
Yeah.
I saw Zoofacarious. I'm like, wow, that's a cool new word. I'm gonna start calling my daughter that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube was like that until like the comments in YouTube were just so toxic until I think they implemented. They came to some kind of half measure, like you have to have a real name or a real email address or verified to leave a comment, and it's still pseudo anonymous, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
So guys, I bought a domain at least 20 plus years ago. And this one guy still uses the email address he had. So I'm not even too sure what the email address is specifically. I probably could figure it out. But I just have a wild card for that domain, and it just forwards it over to Brian Deitch. And homie was like rolling over his 401k and stuff. And I had seen this years ago where he was doing like a rental application for like one of his tenants, and it was coming to me. I was like, so I went back on to the email chain this weekend. I was like, dude, you don't own this email address anymore. Like, please stop using it. I'm seeing all your stuff.
You ever respond?
No, never did respond. But I do think that the who's a big old 401k company? Not one that we use.
Schwab.
E-Trade, Fidelity, Schwab.
Fidelity, yeah, it was Fidelity.
Robinhood.
But I was
Yeah.
like, dude, why would
Net
you even use a
benefits.
stupid vanity or like? It is like it's insane. Like imagine it's like Brian Deitch Incorporated. It's something that obscure. He's using that. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Well, the
He's
real
not
Brian Deitch.
curious.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
He's not
actually
wondering
my
why
last
he's
name.
not getting any of these confirmations.
But just like going back and forth, and I'm seeing stuff and signatures, and it's asking me. I was like, what the hell, man? You got to be dumb.
That's where you could do some kind of man-in-the-middle attack and say, oh, instead of wiring your deposit to this account, wire it to this other account.
If I was a lesser man like you, Chris, I probably would.
Here's a lesson in business email compromise.
It wasn't even business email, right? But it's still, it would be like, I mean, do you use, like, when you're signing up for stuff, do you use your personal, like, whatever, .net one, or no? Or do you have, like, a Gmail one?
It depends. It depends on what it is. The more legitimate services I use my personal domain, and for most commercial and sales stuff, I send it to my Gmail account.
Chris has like 50 emails, and he's got them like categorized on what level of safety each email is for.
Oh, here's where I could pimp out a cool feature, the hide my email. So I know, Glenn, you put us onto this. So DuckDuckGo has a free email forwarding service. It's built into the DuckDuckGo browser, and I forget how I signed up for it. I think I just went to the DuckDuckGo website. But you can have some email at duck.com, and then it just auto forwards to to any email that you want to. So it hides it that way.
Big,
Proton Mail does the
giant,
same thing.
hairy, veiny balls at duckduckgo.com.
You could try it. Maybe it's still available, Brian.
Yeah. Did you know you could do a plus sign after your email in Gmail?
Yeah.
Like and it would just
can,
keep
but
adding it.
it's trivial to write a regex to strip that out. So that was the problem.
Yeah.
That's why I use 2 pluses.
Use
Or
2
periods. Like if you're Brian Deitch at gmail.com, you can do brian.deitch at gmail.com. It's the same thing, but it registers differently because it's unique with the periods, because Gmail strips out all the periods.
pluses.
Yeah. Brian B.R.I. Can you imagine giving that to somebody? How much time you
Fun
got there,
tips
mister?
on how to circumvent all the free trial limitations. So back on the restaurant review, this actually happened to my wife. She writes honest reviews. Like, she's not vindictive or doesn't get mad about certain things. They're honest. And one restaurant owner took issue with something that she wrote about a restaurant, and like wrote about her on her blog. And she wrote a nasty email to the owner. It's like, hey, you better take this down. And they're like kind of going back and forth for a bit. And then after a while, he did eventually take it down.
How pissed off was Grace? What's going on?
Yeah, she wasn't happy that she got like highlighted, and the guy didn't take too well to her negative review on that, and then eventually he backed down. I bet the company doesn't even exist anymore. It was like a fly-by-night restaurant.
Yeah, that's always fun.
It's probably,
Your favorite
probably because of
restaurant
Grace's
goes out of
review.
business because health code violations.
Yeah.
It's probably because of Grace's review they got shut down. Chris.
That wasn't sour cream.
Tell her she did that. Yeah.
I'd like to think so. And then the other story related to Glenn's comment about anonymous things getting posted. My parents used to own a store in Chinatown, and the store next to their shop it rotated a lot. It was like a souvenir shop, and then at one point it became like a boba shop that happened to serve ice cream. And then they talked to the owners during the grand opening week, and they said, yeah, business is good. We got a good grand opening. Something weird happened, though. We got a health department complaint that somebody ate our ice cream and got a really bad stomachache. And then we looked at the date of the complaint, and we didn't even serve ice cream at that time. So it was just somebody on the block at a rival shop leaving negative reviews at the health department trying to get these guys shut down.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Yeah. It's just how ruthless and cutthroat some of these businesses can be.
Well, it's the exact same thing on Twitter right now, or on X, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you hear that Disney went back on X?
Are they advertising on there again?
Yeah, they paid for a yellow check mark. So
yeah, you see, The Rock decided that he's not going to endorse Biden again. I'm like, he shot himself in the foot. He had a little bit of a Jimmy Buffett situation there, Margaritaville.
Yeah, I think this time around, I think people are staying a lot more neutral because they feel that there's no right answer, there's no good option. They should just stay out of politics. They finally learned that. Just keep your mouth shut and let people decide.
Well, when you're The Rock and, people are avoiding, your entire section at Dick's Sporting Goods, and then everyone's hating on you at WWE Raw, it starts to affect the bottom line.
Yeah, he's a businessman. He has his line of energy drinks. I think he has a tequila, and he has a rap career. He's a movie star. So when you isolate or insult, 50% of the populace, then that's not good.
Be like Mike, right?
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Yeah,
he was really big on stay away from politics. I'm gonna go play basketball.
He's the case study in keeping his mouth shut. Yeah.
Dude, in the Last Dance, remember, like he refused to be seen drinking on camera. I was like, he's such a stand-up dude. I mean, he did cheat on his wife though, but other than that, he was pretty cool.
All right, for our second topic, in an effort to reduce reliance on Western countries, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has issued a directive to 2 companies in Russia to create video game consoles and video games to compete with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X, the current generation of gaming consoles. After their invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Russia has been cut off from the rest of the world under heavy sanctions that they are now unable to import the game consoles and video games, at least through legitimate channels. Not to be left behind, these 2 unfortunate companies have until June 15th, which is not that far away from now, 2024, to develop and release the consoles. A tall order even for well-established video game companies, and this includes both portable and home versions of these consoles. Russia has been trying to develop things in-country like Ruski.net, their own version of the internet that's not reliant on other global systems. China is currently developing Kylin Linux to get away from Western-owned Microsoft Windows, and North Korea is using Red Star Linux, trying to get away again from these Western companies.
Well, now I didn't have Putin pegged as like a Call of Duty guy, but apparently that's where he gets all of his military strategy from, why he sucks so much. So I guess so.
It's like Call of Duty, but the Russians are the good guys in this one, not the invaders.
I will never again ask a customer, what's your North Star? I'm going to say, what's your Red Star? What's your Red Star, guys?
Red Star Linux.
Red Star Linux, baby.
So there's a YouTuber, Tom from Texas, who's dating a Russian girl, or is now actually engaged to her. But he's done a couple shorts and a couple his shows on YouTube where he's showing how well the sanctions are going, and says that things are not supposed to be there, but they're there. So it's like things like a glass, a can of Coke, some snacks.
Benz or
Yeah.
something.
I said
yeah.
Tucker Carlson did that. You guys thought I was being fooled, but this YouTuber does it, and all of a sudden it's real. Man, you guys kiss my butt.
Well, Tucker Carlson
YouTube Tom, he knows.
Tucker Carlson doesn't have a really cute girlfriend from Russia, so sorry.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
When I read this, I was thinking, why is this a top priority? Like, when you think of all the other companies that got sanctioned out of there, like we had that story about Meraki routers getting bricked, and HP is the latest company to just brick these printers and everything. Like, why is he focused on video games? You'd think he'd have better things to do to develop in-house versions of in Russia.
Well, that's true. It does make you wonder. I mean, it's probably easy to disseminate information through gaming consoles than it is, or just the general internet, if you really wanted to. Because didn't that happen with some terrorists where they're using like PlayStation to communicate?
Yeah,
Chat.
the
chat
PSNet.
rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were terrorists that did that. There were insider trading people that did that. They'd meet in Xbox Live and talk there because they thought it was safe and not being recorded or monitored.
Idiots.
And I think the giveaway, I think it was drug deals. This one that was the drug deal I remember. And they said this guy had like 58 hours logged into this game and his character was still level 1. They're like, yeah, he's not using this game for its intended purpose, obviously.
Pervs, every one of them.
That would probably be. He's owned this account for 3 years. He's still on level 1 of this game. I'm like, yeah, because I suck. I haven't played the game in a while. I get dizzy after about 30 minutes of playing, or actually about 10 minutes of playing. So.
Yeah, and we also did that story. I forgot if it was Minecraft. I know for sure it exists in Minecraft where you can log into this Minecraft server and there's just libraries inside the Minecraft game of information that's banned. So if you're in China, you can read about Tiananmen Square, and if you're in other countries, you can read about politics and opposition leaders. They call it the Library of Knowledge or something like that. And I think there was either Counter-Strike or Call of Duty. It might have been Counter-Strike. There's a Counter-Strike level where players in Russia can join this Counter-Strike lobby, go to this secret room, and then read about all the atrocities that Russia is committing inside Ukraine. Or Putin just wants better Call of Duties. They're like,
You still gotta develop
really dropped
games,
the
though, right?
ball on Modern Warfare 3, and we think we could do better.
He defeats all DRM, and you can play Xbox and PS5 games and Nintendo Switch all on one console.
Well, that's where I was kind of going to, Brian, was like, who's going to develop the games? You still have to develop the games, right? And most of those games were developed probably out of Ukraine, right? Or somewhere outside, maybe somewhere in Russia as well.
Yeah, that's basically what this directive says. This is one company, they make like set-top boxes, like you're making the video game hardware, and then there's this other software development company that says you're going to make the games.
Can you imagine, though, if they made like a really just badass Fortnite level type of game and everybody in the world wants to play it? That's what solves world hunger.
Could you imagine?
And Russia's...
Could you imagine instead of playing something like Halo, or it's a game like Halo or SEAL Team 6, it's now called what's the Russian group? The
Spetsnaz.
The Spetsnaz are the characters inside these, and they're going against
Defeat the
capitalist-
imperialist Navy SEALs.
Yeah, exactly.
So every once in a while, I like to go on LinkedIn and just troll people, and I think I sent it to you. Yeah, and I think I didn't actually write it, but there was this group of people, and I wanted to write instead of SEAL Team 6, Meal Team 6.
Meal Team 6. Gravy Seals.
Gravy Seals, that's a good one as well. But yeah, I did not do it.
Good.
Too funny.
I'm looking forward to this Russian video game console, and I'm eager to see the reviews show up on IGN when that finally comes out. So I heard like Red Star Linux, like it'll get by, but it's no Ubuntu, it's no Debian or Arch Linux. But
The controller's
I
just
heard
nunchucks.
Kylin. Yeah,
What
I
are
heard
some of
Kylin
the,
Linux is actually pretty good.
yeah? What are some of the things it's always going to be installed on those things? A keylogger, a screen grabber, spyware. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when I was researching this, Kylin Linux, that's the China version of Linux that's supposed to replace Windows, and everybody in the comment section said exactly that. It's got some CCP backdoor in it. But then people in the comments are also saying, like, China completely open sourced this. Go ahead and look at it, see if you can find the keylogger. But then, on the other hand, China's very, very good at hacking. So if there is a keylogger or a backdoor, it's got to be heavily obfuscated and hard to find.
Yeah, it's listed under Notepad. So
Yeah, I think there's one in a VPN gateway from the CCP the other day. I heard about. We'll talk about that in the next pod.
Yeah. Well, when Brian writes the show notes, he can talk about the CCP backdoor, the gaping hole in these VPN firewall appliances.
Well, maybe I will, Mr. I don't write show notes. Jeez, this guy. Let's just take a credible news source and just talk about.
Why blame me? What did I
fictitious...
do? Yeah.
You made us do the show early, so we didn't have enough
like
time
we're a
to
security podcast, and you're
covered.
literally talking about Russia building their own gaming console or a gaping hole in a VPN gateway that has an install base of 100,000 companies. Like, what the hell, dude? But yes, I will write the show notes next week.
Stop hating, Brian. What's going on?
I'm not hating. I'm just
What are you
doubting the
ambulance
credibility of
chasing
us
right
at
now?
this point.
I heard Microsoft themselves. They have at least 100 of these gaping hole firewalls installed in their premises.
No ambulance chasing over here.
Microsoft.
I had to actually put my phone on Do Not Disturb. It's ringing off the hooks. They want they want the Band-Aid for it. I got it.
They want the real zero trust.
Yeah.
If it's reachable, it's breachable. We'll say that.
That's right. That's totally accurate. I don't know why people don't understand that.
I think Cisco used to say, if it's connected, it's protected. That's a real thing.
That age like milk.
I don't think they say
Yeah.
that anymore. You got to go find that ad now.
I bet they've walked that back. All right, for our third topic, the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also known as CISA here in the U.S., has issued an ominous warning for users of business analytics platform SiSense. The advisory from CISA urges SiSense customers not only to reset credentials to the platform, but also for any passwords to any other sensitive data potentially accessed through SiSense services. SiSense products are designed to allow companies to view the status of multiple third-party online services in a single dashboard, that so-called single pane of glass. On April 11th, CISA disclosed a breach at SiSense, and the problem with the business analytics firm is that it contains API access keys to all the servers it's supposed to be monitoring. Using those API keys, threat actors can pivot from SiSense into other SaaS services, especially if the API keys did not have correct permission set. This follows a growing chain of supply chain attacks reminiscent of the SolarWinds attacks used to compromise multiple U.S. federal agencies. The attackers used the X3 access to copy and exfiltrate several terabytes worth of SiSense customer data, which apparently included millions of access tokens, email account passwords, and even SSL certificates.
So in all my years in IT, nobody has ever said I have SiSense. I don't even know what that is. Never been on my radar. Boring.
I thought it was like the Hisense TV. There's a Hisense group, right? There's a Hisense something.
I think Brian has a few of those.
Yeah.
Shh, that's security through obscurity, dude.
At least it's not LG. LG also had a gaping hole in their WebOS that allowed people to remotely attack it.
What is SiSense? I'm gonna look them up now.
It's one of those SaaS monitoring companies.
It was last year they said that.
This is last year. Ryan is showing us the ad for Cisco that says if it's connected, it's protected. Visit
That was last
visit
year?
Cisco at RSA 2023. We really need to double down on that. If it's reachable, it's a breachable campaign.
You gotta send me that, Brian. Are you gonna use that?
It, buddy.
Are you gonna,
put it in the
use
group
that
chat.
on your campaigns?
So let's look at SiSense marquee customers.
Who got breached? Who's getting owned? This is very similar to the problem that we've had with things like single sign-on, like Okta. If your Okta account gets popped, then you have access to like every internal and external application.
Ooh, they have 1,400 customers. Watch out.
Wow.
Well, let's go ambulance chase, boys. We got Travel Centers of America, the QD brands. Never heard of any of these people. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say anything about them.
True Zero Trust, Brian.
Yeah. ThoughtWorks. Haven't heard of them.
No, it's interesting that CISA got involved because they viewed it, they recognized it, and they pretty early on they're saying this is going to be a problem based on the type of attack, the data that was stolen. This can be easily pivoted into other attack vectors.
It's crazy.
So the top competitors to SiSense, if you're wondering, is Notion, Microsoft Power BI. How are they even in business anymore? Tableau, NetSuite. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Smells
Power
like
BI is
poop.
pretty popular. NetSuite's Oracle now. And Tableau's owned by Salesforce.
But Power BI is something still? Again.
Yeah. Yeah, Power BI is still pretty popular. Business analytics.
Any type of business analytics, it's Salesforce, right? So
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
its competitors,
Power BI has
Salesforce.
76,000 customers. We're in the wrong business, boys.
Yeah.
Well,
makes you
everybody
wonder
needs
also,
analytics.
how are these people able to access the S3 bucket and then download everything completely unencrypted? If you think you have API tokens and SSL certificates, you'd have some level of security around it.
Not if they have access to the actual the tokens themselves, right? If you have a token, you pretty much have access.
It is. Yeah. I mean, they had access to the S3 bucket, but the data still should have been encrypted at rest.
Right now, Wiz is ambulance chasing. We could have detected that. What could you have prevented? No, we could have detected it, though. We just told you everything is left out there, right out the front door. Again, what could you have done to stop it? Absolutely nothing, but we would have known it happened.
We hit a sore spot with you, Brian.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I don't understand what all the hoopla is about it.
Yeah, they're a good product. They're a good product for their space.
For their space. Again, it's like the prettiest. Never mind.
We know where that's going.
A little grumpy today. What a grumparella.
I was told that earlier, and Sam
Tax
Curry
day,
texted
that's
me.
why.
He's like, "Are you all right, man? You need to talk." I'm like, "I'm fine. It's tax day, man.
Just-
it's the 15th.
Just doesn't like paying his taxes.
Yeah.
He'll be fine tomorrow once the check clears his account.
Ugh. Yeah, don't talk to me about that.
Topic 4.
Well, it just goes to show. Watch out for those downstream effects. Just because somebody had a data breach, what are the possible downstream effects of that? True Zero Trust.
When do you think people are just gonna be like, you know what, S3 sucks. We're just gonna go throw it in something else. And that would become
Azure
popular
Blob.
and hacked. Yeah, Azure Blob.
That's better.
GCP
Paste
toilet.
Glenn's like fading. He's in a different time zone and he missed his dinner, so we better wrap up soon.
It's all good. It's all good.
He's gonna get hangry.
Not
Glenn's
me. I'm not the one
tight.
that's angry. Look at
Brian's
Minty Hummer
grumpy
over
over
there. Brian's
tax
grumpy. I know. At least I'm still laughing.
For our last topic, it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about the question: you get paired with 100 random humans, and if you're better than all of them at something, you get $1 billion. So, what are you guys choosing? What do you think you are in the top 1% of the world in? Glenn is making an obscene gesture right now, so you can imagine what he's good at.
Yeah. Public speaking.
I'll let you go first, Chris.
Yeah.
So I put public speaking. I tend to think that I'm probably a top 1% public speaker. And before Brian calls me not humble, imagine the scenario. Like, I watch some reality TV, but my wife loves reality. She likes the Kardashians and the Bachelors and all the Real Housewives stuff. And I've been coached, so I've been professionally coached in public speaking, and I can recognize when other people have been coached in public speaking. So again, 100 people. You get 100 random humans. You put them in a room. You put a camera in front of them. First of all, half of them won't even go on camera. Like, just, that's real. Half or not more. So you're down to 50 people. Half of those people turn into blubbering idiots when you put a camera on them. They just can't talk. Like, they're willing to go on camera, but they can't talk. So you're down to 25. You take another half of those, and you say you can't have everybody that doesn't use those crutch words. You're gonna get yeah, no, well, maybe, so this, so that, and then you're down to, like, you eventually get down to about 6 people, and then you add things like body language into it, and you could become. It's pretty easy to get into the top 1% of public speakers, and that's how I can tell on TV that there's these 23-year-old kids out there that I'm in entry-level ad sales, or I'm in entry-level engineer or something, and they can speak professionally. I'm like, I know that person has been coached, because there's just no way an average 23-year-old in this line of work can speak that well.
Is that an actual job for somebody to have, where they can be a coach for public speaking? I think it there.
Oh,
is.
Yeah, and they charge a lot. Like, I've been sent there for professional reasons, so the company paid for it. And I've also inquired for it for personal reasons as well. And when I got the quote for it, it was steep. The per hour rate was pretty high.
Like, orders of magnitude, Chris. What's the orders of magnitude? It's not $20 an hour. You're not getting a guy from McDonald's teaching you how to public speak, right?
No, it was like $300 to $400 an hour.
Jeez, that's pretty good though.
And I've also
hope
noticed,
they help you overcome those things.
So I won't out this person, but there was a person at our company that was a horrible, horrible public speaker, and they were asked to speak at our company events, and it was noticeable. And then maybe the next year, we all got together again, and they were amazing transformation. And I know between the first time and the second time, somebody hinted and says, this person needs to be coached in public speaking. And sure enough, it worked, because that person is an amazing public speaker now.
That's good.
If it's learnable, it's teachable. That didn't make sense. If it's teachable, it's reachable. Your audience.
Right, coming full circle on this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if I'm in that same room as you, you're effed. I'm taking that billion, buddy.
It's true. I just have to hope that out of the 8 billion people, that Brian's not in the same room as me.
Yeah, I'm not a good public speaker. I'll stay away from that.
Really? I thought you'd be comfortable.
Even if you don't, so even if you don't consider yourself a good one, I would still say you're top 1%, just based on the math that I laid out there. If you discount all the and all that stuff that you tend to do on the podcast that I have to edit out, like, you don't say the ums, you don't say the uhs. You're pretty charismatic. You can carry a conversation. You can tell a story. I think those are all the important things on how to be a public speaker.
I wouldn't have made it past the first 50% because I'm not the first to volunteer.
I'm always.
I would wait. I would always wait for you two to go up there. Then afterwards, I'm like, okay, is there anyone else? I'm like, I guess I'll go up there after everyone talks.
So statistically speaking, I think that I'm the upper 1% of the world that can do this one specific thing. I definitively know that. Now, I'd have to warm up a little bit, but I can get there. And that's dunking. I think if you put me in a room with 100 random people,
really?
I could probably get it dunked for somebody else.
Yeah, I can see that. The height and the vertical distance you can gain by jumping.
Yeah.
I'm really good at being a couch potato. I can do that better than almost anyone in the world.
Well, I can hold you hostage with my crippling low self-esteem. Nobody else can do that.
And I can fall asleep within 5 minutes at any time of the day. So
that
how about you
I
like
can
that?
see at being the top 1%. Although if I was in the room with you, Glenn, I would have you beat for sure. I could probably fall asleep in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. My wife. It
the
kills
three of
my
us
wife
drink
that I
a
can do
Rockstar and see who falls asleep first. I'm winning
probably
that one
you
all day long.
Yeah, because you drink it all day long. Yeah.
You have it running in your veins. So that's not really fair.
Yeah.
True.
I'll tell you what I can do that probably not a lot of other people can do. I can tie a knot with a cherry stem. How do you like those?
All right, lucky
With your
lady.
fingers?
And do it really well. No, all in my mouth, hands free.
There you go.
And that's why my
Very
wife fell
useful
in love
skill.
with me. So
Top 1% right here, Glenn. You heard it here first.
I can hit a human-sized target from an unsupported position from 300 meters away. Never mind.
Yeah, that's probably a top 1% thing.
Yeah.
I'd say Brian could probably bench press more than 99% of the world out there.
Maybe.
Like when you think of, a subset of people that can even do a bench press and then do the amount of weight that you can, I would venture a guess you're in the top 1%.
I'm probably top 10% of my gym. I don't know if I'm top 1% though.
But then
You said
you're
the
already
world.
you're self-selecting.
Yeah.
Like
You
if
know what
I were
I
to say
cannot
I'm the
do?
top 1% of public speakers at a sales organization, well, that's a different metric than saying top 1% of 100 random people.
random. I think that's the thing. Random,
Yeah.
not random at a gym.
So gun to
It's
my
open.
head
Hmm.
and forget the what can I do? What can I not do? Right? Gun to my head can save your entire family, end world hunger. I have no idea. And everyone here knows this. I was part of a church for a very, very long time. Me and my wife served in it, blah, blah, blah. Recite me any one scripture, everyone's dead. I don't know any.
You're gonna be able to recite a single Bible verse from memory.
You don't know John
No.
3:16? Probably the same
No,
one that everyone
you
else
can't do
knows.
any of. No, you can't do any of the easy ones like that. Like you'd have to come up with something a little bit more specific. That.
Well,
like,
Coolio, right? Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that's from the Bible.
No, you don't know that whole verse though.
That's Genesis, though, right? That's
I
a
shall
whole one.
fear no evil, for
Yeah.
thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Psalm
Jesus, look at-
23.
It's not bad for being
Oh,
Hindu
Chris.
there, Chris.
Yeah. All right. All right. Chris.
Study thy enemy, right? That's pretty good.
Too bad Brian's up for dad joke. I'm going to sneak in a quick dad joke here just because you brought it up. Dad joke of the week. So, did you guys know that the Bible is actually based off a baseball game? Because in Genesis 1, it says, in the big inning.
Ah, that's actually a good one. We just use that as the one to call it a night, so Glenn can go eat.
I'm good, guys.
So the other thing I have here, video games. Again, I would say I'm an above average video. I'm not great, but I would say I'm above average video game. But again, taking that population of 100 people, I think I have hand-eye coordination, the reflexes, the knowing game mechanics. I think I'd be in a top 1%. And then stock picking. I think I would consider myself a top 1% stock picker.
No, you
I
just
picked some real
say-
turds out there, but
Is it because
I
of
picked some
research, or is it
real
because
winners,
of
too.
gut? Is it your gut, or is it because of the research that you do?
It's research based. Like I usually
Yeah.
research a stock pretty well before buying it, and overall, I've picked more winners than turds, and it's
Yeah.
through the research, through understanding economics and macroeconomic factors, and we're in a environment where interest rates apparently are going to stay high for a really long time. So what companies tend to do well in those types of environments, and what companies tend not to do well in that, and you can just pick based on that, and even just knowing that and making that pick, even it's still greater than 50-50, which most people, they'll just throw something on a dartboard and buy it, or they'll throw it all in SPY, which is not a bad investment strategy.
You know what's not on here, Chris, that I know for sure you're definitely more than top 1%. You're probably like 0.01. You are the human database. And everyone
so.
that's listening to this, anyone who knows you will agree to that you are probably way up there. In fact, you're probably number one on many lists for that.
You're saying I should go on Jeopardy?
Yeah, you should. Definitely. Like, I think it was a couple of times I've asked, like, hey, do you have this? And you're like, oh, yeah, hold on. And it's like, and the hold on, folks, is not like 30 minutes later, an hour later. It's like seconds later he sends you that with pictures, with references and everything. 'Cause it's pretty amazing how much Chris retains and knows where everything is stored.
Yeah, apparently. Not much room for other things, though, Glenn.
Yeah.
like empathy.
Like empathy.
Yeah.
Just a total psychopath.
You know, I'll put this out there. When I was in my 30s, which was quite a while ago, I could memorize phone numbers before cell phones. Like, if a person gave me 10 digits, I could memorize my whole family and then some, and friends and family. I could memorize everyone's phone number. I could memorize safe combinations. Didn't have to write anything down. But time is gone, and cell phones have made me stupid. At least that's what my wife tells me.
Notebook. Just need to carry around a notebook with you now.
Yeah.
Where I keep all my passwords.
Yeah. Have you asked anyone, hey, what's your phone number lately? Like, no one knows what their phone number is because it's all on speed dial. Or
they're not getting Fry's fuel points then, because I enter that stuff in every time I go shopping.
You just need to know your phone number. You don't have to remember other people's phone numbers.
Yeah, I don't use my phone number.
I would not be able to tell either of you what phone number you are, much less what area code. I don't think I could even guess what area code you guys are in.
I know you're
Glenn's
415.
818, right? And then say you're probably 415. No, 803.
No.
702.
Close. 707.
707.
808 in Heartbreak.
Maybe 702 is Vegas, I think.
Yeah.
808 is Hawaii.
Hawaii, yeah. But thank you. I think I should just go get a Hawaii number because I think. Come on,
212. You know what that is?
212.
Manhattan, isn't it?
Yeah, New York. Yep.
New York, yeah.
213.
All right. Well,
LBC.
Apparently the three of us are also very good at knowing where area codes are. I think we're top 1% area code knowers. Well, we continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week.
Dad joke of the week.
This week, Brian's up.
Finally, been waiting weeks for this. All right, so I ordered a chicken and an egg on Amazon. I'll let you know.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, to wrap things up, OpenTable will stop anonymous reviews next month. Get ready for Putin's PlayStation. SiSense customers should revoke all API keys and rotate passwords, and you must construct additional pylons. That's all I have for this week. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. You can find us on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to all our listeners and subscribers who rate us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app. For my co-hosts Brian Deitch and Glenn Medina, I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next week, and as always, have a nice day.
Bye, Felicia.
Have a nice day.